Hello friends, this is Pearls on Tuesday, and it is a kind of dreary, drizzly day here in Eastern Virginia. So I thought that I would do something that I've really been wanting to do for quite some time, which is to share with you some of my vintage baby items that belonged to my family. My nanny that I speak of so often, who passed in 2018 at the age of 97, she saved and documented so many of our family items, and most of these I recovered from her home. And those of you that are vintage souls like me, I know would enjoy seeing these objects. What you are looking at is a toy that I received on my first birthday. It should look familiar. It is a Fisher-Price pull toy, and I will be 59 on my next birthday, so that is how old this little guy is. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to share with you my father's christening outfit. It is very thin cotton, has little light blue bows at the top, and very intricate embroidery at the bust. It is fairly long. The embroidery continues down to the edges. And under that, he wore this little slip, which buttons on the shoulders, and again, that beautiful embroidery all the way down. My father is 80, so I know for a fact that this is almost 80 years old. The next thing I'm going to share with you is a crochet set that was made for my father by my great-grandmother. You will see lots of crochet pieces in my collection that were made by either my great-grandmother or my nanny, her daughter. This obviously is a little sweater set trimmed in blue with lace embellishments. And again, this is almost 80 years old because that's the age of my dad. These are the little booties trimmed in blue that were made to go with it, and the matching bonnet. I love that set. This is another crochet sweater, and I'm not sure if this one was made for my father or for his sister, who was 8 years younger than he was. I do know that it was made by family and belonged to one of them. I have a whole pile of bonnets or baby caps here. This one on top is my favorite. It belonged to my father. I love all the lace and ribbons. The back looks like this, which I assume was to let the head breathe. I'm not sure if this would have been more of a sun hat or a hat to keep the head warm. Beautiful lace. but that one is probably my favorite. These others are darling as well. This one must have been my aunt's because it has tiny pink rosettes, where these other two in the back are embellished in blue, which tells me it probably belonged to my father. And here are some more of the crochet ones that someone in the family put together. I also have a nice display of baby shoes and baby booties. These old leather shoes were my father's. This is what he wore when he was learning to walk. And this darling little leather shoe belonged to his sister. These white booties here are leather. And I'm assuming, because they're in such good condition, that they were placed on the babies before the babies were able to walk. And then we have a darling pair of little socks that were never worn because the bye-bye infants tag is still on it. And then these precious little booties that are embellished with a little blue flower. Now, I was born in 1963. And this is a dress that I wore as a child. And what is so special about it for me is that my first name is embroidered in multicolored thread, and my grandfather, my father's father, did a lot of embroidery work, and he used to embroider my name on some of my special pieces. And this is one of the few that I have left that he embroidered my name on. This is a badly stained little baby jacket. I'm not sure if it belonged to my father or my aunt. But despite the staining, you can see the beautiful hand smocking all across the front, and the beautiful detail of the embroidery, even the little knots on the collar, and the satin ribbon. It has a little cuff, which is very dear. It doesn't have buttons. It opens up, and it seems to be cotton on the inside. And this is the matching bonnet, which also has lace and some hand stitching and the ribbon. So I'm not sure who wore that, but I know that it could be about 80 years old. Now, some more crochet. This little pink dress was crocheted by my great-grandmother for my Aunt Liz. So that would make it about 76 maybe years old. And it's trimmed in blue satin ribbon and made with blue and pink thread. And of course, she would have worn a little slip underneath because obviously the crochet material is see-through. I also have a little smock type dress here that is blue that was crocheted for my aunt, probably about the same time. Next, I'm going to show you my christening gown. And again, I'm 59. And I was able to have my daughter baptized in this as well. So this is from 1963. It is a layer of chiffon over some silky and cotton material. There is a little dress on the inside that has pink and white trim and lace. And then the overcoat has these little cap sleeves and a nice big collar. And above is the matching bonnet that went with it. My son wore a christening gown that belonged to my husband's family. It was over 100 years old when he wore it, and it was handmade by one of the great aunts in the family. I do not have it because after he wore it, I sent it back to New England for other family members to use, which was the right thing to do. But I would love to have that to be able to show you as well. Here are a few other things that belong to me. This is a baby sack that is quilted and trimmed in beautiful pink satin ribbon that says baby on it. I know that is probably hard to see. There's a little bit of it. And it zips up so you could just be in your regular clothes and zip up in this little sack. And this is a little jacket that you could wear over it. Opens like this so you can keep your little hands nice and warm. And this is the attached hood. You can see where it says baby with some musical notes a little bit better in this picture. But that outfit did belong to me, as well as my first snowsuit. So I was born on July the 4th. So it was several months before we had any snow. But this was my first snowsuit made by Tidykins. And it had a matching little hat to go with it. And I love these little blue squirrels that are embroidered on the front of the snowsuit. And anyone that knows me knows that I love snow. So I hope I got a lot of wear out of this. The next thing I'm going to show you is a little cape that I wore as a child, obviously on special occasions and to church. It has a little button closure there. And I would say it's probably a size of maybe a 2 toddler. But I'm sure I wore that when I dressed up. And down here we have some less frilly and attractive things, but this is a baby undershirt that I'm not sure if it belonged to my father or my aunt or myself, but with it are these pads that you would put in cloth diapers, and you would be able to tie them with these ribbons so that they would stay in place. There are 2 of those there. So whomever wore it, they were wearing it with cloth diapers, not disposable diapers. Now, the last few things I have to share with you are some silver pieces, and these are christening coins, Irish christening coins that belong to my children who are 33 and 31. They were given to us by an aunt in New England who happens to also be my husband's, she's my husband's aunt, my son's godmother. Irish christening coins are pure silver, and they're given at the time of baptism. On one side, they have some kind of filigree. Of course, this is a baby bassinet with little cherubs looking over the baby. And then on the other side, they are engraved with the baby's name and the date of the baptism. And those are things that we really treasure. Now, my husband was born in 1963, and his father was a Navy pilot navigator. And unfortunately, his plane went down in a training exercise over the water in Maryland. And my husband was born 5 months after his father passed away. So this baby cup was given to my husband at the time of his birth with his initials engraved on the front, and on the back is engraved the number of his father's squadron. So baby cups are special as is, but this one is particularly special to us. And of course, inside I have some of our silver baby spoons, which, yes, could certainly use a good polishing. But I did take out my favorite one. This one has a little Scotty dog. It is sterling. And the Scotty dog is Bakelite. And that's probably my favorite of all of the baby spoons that I have. Here is a little baby pin. It is gold. I have those for my own children, but this one happened to be mine. And something else that is mine is this little miraculous medal that my grandmother used to pin to my baby clothes. I'll put my finger up so that you can see. This is my pointer finger. It is really very tiny. And so I've had that all of my 59 years. And lastly, I wanted to show you this. This was given to me at the time that my son was born. It is porcelain, and it is called a birthing egg. Let's see if I can get it to come into focus. It's beautiful. It's a little baby coming out of the egg on this side. You turn it around, and there's its little feet, his little bottom. And it was given to me by my husband's Aunt Pam. And this description tells about the birthing egg. The birthing egg originally came from England and was given by midwives to women in labor as something special to hold. So I did not know about the birthing egg until I was given one. And I think that is a great tradition, a vintage tradition. to be aware of. So thank you for stopping by to see some of my vintage baby items. I am so thankful to my grandmother for keeping track of all of this and more. And I look forward to the next time we get together. Take good care of you and yours.